Episode 2, Jan in the Wild. I'm not going to do this every video. I was just on a run this morning and I figured, hey, let's do it again. It's international break. I don't know why I'm wearing sunglasses. The sun's got in now, but look at this beautiful place for a morning run for sweaty Jan to get at it. I'm glad you guys like the new green screen. The majority of you dig it. I think it looks good. And I might change the shock crash zoom close up, although some people said it's alright, provided I don't overuse it. But yeah, look at this beautiful place. It's a bit like Lord of the Ringsy with all the clouds out. Anyway, we're going to talk about some Chelsea stuff today, like we do every day. So, back to me in the studio. And we're off. What's poppin'? Welcome back to the channel Football Therapy with me, your host Jan, and back to the studio, back to the office, here to talk to you about all things Chelsea. And today, in this episode, we are speaking about Enzo Maresca's transfer plans and how they've changed since the beginning of the season, and having the opportunity to analyze some of his players. We're going to learn a little bit about that from the boot room. We are also going to we're going to share some data, because who doesn't love footballing stats and data about Chelsea's top 3 choice wingers? And of course, that is represented by Pedro Neto, Jadon Sancho. Where's Jadon Sancho? And Noni Madueke, who's also been speaking to the media of late, even referencing what happened when he went down the tunnel against Arsenal before the international break. So there's lots to get into today in today's video. Hopefully you liked a little bit of the Yannick in the Wild clip before this. Can't promise I'll keep doing that, but just doing something slightly different over the international break for a little bit of fun for you guys. In fact, I just want to check quickly while I'm speaking to you now where we are with subscribers, because last time I checked, yeah, we are so close, guys. We are so close to 190,000, which is so many people. We are, in fact, at time of recording, 189,991 subs. So we're literally 9 subscribers of 190,000. I'm still hoping we can get the 200k this season. We'll see how we get on and how things develop. But, thanks for liking and subscribing, guys. I do really appreciate your support. Yeah. Alright, mate, so we're going to get into it today. We're going to speak about Enzo Maresca's story yesterday from the boot room, and then we're going to talk about players individually. Of course, a couple of Chelsea players, or a few Chelsea players enjoying international breaks so far. What have we got? We got a Noni Madueke assist in the game against Greece for England, and everyone's talking about him, like non-Chelsea fans, how he was looking really dynamic and exciting in what was granted the England B team, but looked better than the A team recently, so we can speak about that. Pedro Neto getting a goal, Enzo Fernandez getting an assist, there might be others. Renato Vega nearly getting a clean sheet, starting for Portugal. Of course, they won 5-1 against Poland. I think Ronaldo, did he get a hat-trick? He scored a penalty and scored like an overhead kick. I like those overhead kicks that aren't so like dramatic and athletic, which he can do. It's more of a leaning one, which I do like those as well. So we're going to get into all of it today. Let's start off with this article from the boot room here. On Enzo Maresca. Here he is, the TBR.com. And what's happening? Let's learn together. Well, it goes a little something like this. Graham Bailey writes, Chelsea were looking to sign a new left-back in the summer transfer window. Milos Kerkez was a concrete target for Chelsea in the summer, and the club geared up to sell Ben Chilwell. Yeah, Kerkez, the guy from Bournemouth? Is he Bournemouth? I think so. Anyway, he looks really, really good. Didn't he get loads of assists? Yeah, recently. He looks like an absolute superstar. Maybe that would have been a great purchase. But, however, they're much like their search for a new striker, Chelsea failed to bring in a new left-back in the summer before the deadline, and they had to make do with what they had. Reece James had recently played at left-back for Chelsea, but that spot has largely been occupied by Marc Cucurella this season. Cucurella has performed admirably for the Chelsea during this period, so much so that the Blues have changed their transfer plan. Wow! Chelsea no longer are prioritising a new left-back. This is a good thing. More money for a striker and goalkeeper, I think, personally. TBR Football understands that Cucurella has won over Enzo Maresca, and Chelsea no longer see a new left-back as a priority in the near future. I'm going to give you my thoughts on Cucurella in just one moment, guys, when I finish this short article. The Spaniard enjoyed a brilliant summer, of course, winning the Euros. Cucurella, though, was initially deemed surplus to requirements for Chelsea's long-term plans over the summer and beyond. The club's hierarchy was not convinced that Cucurella would be the right fit for Maresca, but opinions have changed. That's strange, because in the summer, we were all saying, like, yeah, inverting fullback. He was inverting for Poch. Surely that's fine. Cucurella made it clear that he thought he had a future at the club, as the 26-year-old has proven himself beyond any major doubts, easy for me to say. Chelsea's footballing department has been assessing left-back options, but we understand that is no longer a priority, with Cucurella and the summer signing Portuguese international Renato Veiga looking more than capable. That's true as well. You got to have a shout out for Renato Veiga, the aforementioned, who's starting for Portugal now in competitive games. You know, he'll be thankful for Chelsea as well, because that's given him the platform, the profile to start and play for his country. Chelsea's footballing department have assessing the bin left-back options. Oh, yeah, sorry, I just read that. Yeah, Renato Veiga also capable. Marc Cucurella stats this season. He is getting... Yeah, he's got stronger stats, basically. And he's looking good. And, yeah, you can read the rest of this article if you want, but I want to speak a little bit about it myself. He's good. Look, man, let's be real here, shall we, for one moment. Marc Cucurella, he won Brighton's Player of the Season. He is from La Masia in Barcelona, I believe, so he comes from a good pedigree. Man City wanted him, yeah. So it's like, you know, a lot of players that Chelsea signed that Man City wanted first often demonstrates they are good players. Like Jorginho, you know, he was divisive, but I just think Jorginho was an excellent footballer and good at what he does. But, you know, he's kind of like, as we say over in the kingdom, Marmite. You either love it or hate it. I thought he was, to be fair, I was neither. I thought he was a good operator, Jorginho. But, and, you know, he's wanted by City, Jorginho. He was bought by Chelsea and now plays for Arsenal, so he can't be that bad. But similarly, Cucurella, he was wanted by Man City. He comes to Chelsea, and it's in that really peculiar, tricky time. He costs a lot of money, guys. He's not like a loads of add-ons. He was like a £60 million player, I believe. And I don't think he's on silly money, but he certainly came in before the wage structure, before the new wage structure. Excuse me, the new incentivized wage structure. So, you know, we're not going to talk about Nkunku. I've done it too much recently. But, you know, people like Cucurella in the summer, there were reports from The Athletic saying, despite him playing well for Pochettino at the end of last season, despite him winning the Euros in the summer, Chelsea would have listened to offers for Marc Cucurella, largely because they think they probably could have got maybe their money back, or best part, or certainly the book value money back for Cucurella, and alleviate themselves of what they deem high wages, what they're not paying anymore. You know, they want to pay Malo Gusto wages, they want to pay, you know, Nico Jackson wages, they want to pay Madueke wages, they even want to pay Cole Palmer wages, all much less than Cucurella. So if they could bring in like a Malo Gusto level for the other side, then they would have been like, yeah, we'll sell Cucurella. Defo. Do you know what I mean? Of course, we brought in Renato Veiga, who's a bit different to Malo Gusto, a bit of a different operator, so you can't really compare. But now, you know, the way Cucurella is like, yeah, I want to stay at Chelsea. He did come out recently and say he would like to return to Spain, but, you know, players are playing for longer and longer. He could return to Spain in 3 or 4 years and have an excellent Chelsea career. Do you know what I mean? So there is a bit of that as well. But the way he's performed recently, I mean, just before the international break, locking down Bukayo Saka and literally not giving him a sniff. He's good, isn't he? He's good. He's a good guy. He's positive. He's not got an ego. He's fun. I'm happy to have him around. And I never thought he was a bad footballer, but I did think we shouldn't have signed this guy for that much money. But now I'm happy that we did, and I was wrong. Let's move on. Alright, gang, now we are going to use X Value, the very expensive service I've paid for, to provide you guys data on certain players. Noni Madueke we're going to start with, then we're going to look at Pedro Neto and then Jadon Sancho. Firstly, like I said, Noni got an assist, Pedro Neto got a goal. Sancho's not been playing, we'll speak about him. Noni was recently interviewed or asked about him going down the tunnel when he was substituted, looking a bit annoyed, and he came out and we're just desperate for news stories at the moment, like this David Coote thing, the referee controversy coming out, like all the, you know, the tabloid papers are loving it because they've got a massive story in the international break. I actually feel pretty sorry for the ref. I mean, he's obviously been stupid and cool out here, but like the way the media is just ruthless, isn't it? Anyway, we're not speaking about that. It's not Chelsea. But yeah, it was a story how Noni went straight down the tunnel, and he came out once asked about this, like in the last few hours or day or so, and said, I just went to the toilet. Sometimes when I get subbed, I just go, without saying this, he's like, I go for take a whiz, mate. Do you know what I mean? Maybe he did, maybe he didn't, maybe he was annoyed. It still shouldn't be a story. Look, the thing is with Noni, he certainly had a attitude problem. Like, not just the penalty argument, like his flailing arms and doesn't want to come off. I've seen it before. He's young, he's a kid. I'm a 35-year-old man. I don't think if you can hear that. That is my dryer, sounds like it's about to explode. Can you hear that? I think it's being picked up on the mic. Hopefully the house doesn't explode from my dryer. Yeah, look, Noni Madueke is 21, 22. Like, I'm looking through the lens of a 35-year-old man. And this is his life. He wants to be the best. He's had to deal with so much at Chelsea. So many different managers, benched and having to reprove himself over and over. But things... Even if Noni does get put in the B team, which is something that you guys suggested recently, I made a video where I went through every single starting 11 position in the Chelsea first team. And I utilised a voting system from my Instagram. I did polls. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's there. Or indeed, it's there at Football Yannick. And you guys voted for. I mean, off the top of my head, it was Petrovic in goal. It was Cucurella left back, Reece James right back, Colwill, Fofana. The midfield was still Lavia and Caicedo, obviously. It was still Cole Palmer and Jackson. And it was Neto on the right and Jadon Sancho on the left. So there was no Noni Madueke. So a lot of Chelsea fans think that's what it's going to end up. So even if he is coming off the bench for Chelsea and starting in the midweek games, he's still trending in the right direction. He's not going to start ahead of Bukayo Saka for England as things start. But, you know, he's a high-profile player. People are talking about him. All the football podcasts that I listen to and, like, you know, the analysis and stuff, he's getting a lot of positive airtime about him at the moment. Things are going well for him. So, yeah, I understand why he gets frustrated or whatever. But, yeah, man, like, he's going well. He's going well. So we shouldn't, like, whinge too much. I do think he sort of needs to chill out a little bit with that attitude and maybe grow up a little bit, but I think he's an absolute baller and he's got that self-belief as well. So let's take a look at him here on X Value, as this is this season's stats. As you can see, as for a winger, he's strong at assisting, shooting and carries, not so much the defensive. Interesting poor at passes here, as you can see on the right hand side of the screen here. He's very much a right winger, never plays on the left. He's a conventional right winger as well, not like Cole Palmer, when Cole Palmer wants to operate inside more. He's more like Bukayo Saka and Noni Madueke, so it's not surprising to see that he's like the deputy to Saka for England. You'll notice one thing here, guys, from Noni Madueke, Pedro Neto and Sancho. They're all seen as a one-to-one explorers here in terms of player function, which is the kind of winger that Maresca likes. So let's look at Noni a little bit more, shall we? He's good at open play crosses. He's very good at cutbacks, which doesn't surprise me at all because he gets to this area and cuts the ball back for strikers. He's good at dribbling and he's good at opening 1-2s as well. So he's very good at combinations. This season, he's got 4 goals in 10 appearances, which is pretty darn excellent for a winger, and he's outperforming his XG as well. You can't see it because it's behind my head. Let's have a look here. So he's got 4 goals out of 3.6 XG, so he's good finishing. He should have an assist by now, but that's down to the finishers, so he should have 5 goal involvements in 10 appearances, really. Let's look at his advanced stats, shall we? Per 90 as well, for reference. As you can see here on his polar chart, he is good at non-penalty expected goals, very good at cutbacks, very good at expected threat and expected offensive value added, which essentially means both of these, how much he helps the attack, which is a lot. Through dribbling, carries, and generally threat, which is like an aggregation of carries and pass and progression, he helps the Chelsea attack a lot. There's a reason why Noni Madueke is trusted and by Enzo Maresca. Though I still have a feeling, just due to style of players, I feel like, I'm going to say it now again, that I think that Neto is the form winger for Chelsea. Again, scoring a lovely goal. He's in his last 2 games for both club and country. He can play on both sides. He plays better on the right. And I think if you ask like 100 Chelsea fans right now, who would you rather start on the right wing, Neto or Noni Madueke? And to say Neto can't start on the left, just that. So if you had to start one, I think like 90 out of 100 or 9 out of 10 Chelsea fans are picking Neto to start over Noni. Doesn't mean Noni's bad. It means we've got a good squad. So here are his advanced stats here. I can back that polar chart there. Shooting is very strong, 90th percentile for expected goals, non-penalty 91 first, so he's in the top 9%. He's very strong for chance creation as well. Like I said, expected value added is very, very strong. Expected offensive value added, should I say. And his progression strong as well. Noni Madueke is a good winger. He's very, very good. He might frustrate Chelsea players sometimes in moments. I reckon he doesn't help himself with his like demeanour and stuff, but he is very, very good. So let's look at Pedro Neto now. We know Pedro Neto is wicked. He's obviously only got the 1 goal in the league. He's scored in other competitions, but he hasn't got that many starts. He's got 11 appearances, but I don't know how many of those are starts. He's got 2 assists as well. It's worth mentioning as well, looking here, guys, he's got 1 goal from 0.5 XG, so he's really outperforming. So he's not been trying to score, he's been trying to help the team, but he's really impressed there. And he's got 2 assists from 1.6 expected assists, so he's outperforming on both. So you give him a chance, he's not going to let you down. That's what this tells you here. Very, very strong at crosses as well. This is what a lot of people are speaking about, and yesterday we spoke about Victor Gyökeres, or hopefully, Victor Osimhen, the battle of the victors, that a proper number 9 would do so well to have, a Pedro Neto feeding them in the box here as well. Not so much cutbacks, but more dribbling and opening 1-2s. He's very technical and good at combining. Advanced stats. Let's have a little dip dive in this then. Let's have a look at his polar chart. Not as necessarily... He's very different to Noni in many ways here. But look, his crosses, best in the game. Got it locked down. That's why a striker basically would love him. He's very good at dribbling. And his expected assists in open play situations. Open play because he doesn't take free kicks. He's not on corners. So just digging out good assists. And he's still good at dribbling and stuff. Expected assists, he's in the top 6%, top 5% from open play. Expected is still including dead balls. And very strong value added. Best in the game for like 1-2s open. He's a good combinational techie striker. Maybe the stats don't 100% do him justice. He's still been settling into the Chelsea team, but we've seen in moments an incredibly talented winger, and probably right now the first name on the team sheet for wingers. So let's talk about Jadon Sancho. Firstly, a little bit of like, where is Jadon Sancho? Apparently he was sick for a while. And then, of course, he couldn't play against Man United because he's on loan, technically still on loan until next season, so he's not allowed to play against his parent club, as per the rules. And then he was injured or something, so he should be ready after the international break and hopefully starting games, because he, again... I'm sorry, but to reference the Liam Twomey article from The Athletic once more, he did this analysis of how for the first time since Eden Hazard, in certain aspects of the game, the left-hand side was been opened up in Chelsea's attack for the first time in a long time. Of course, last season we had Palmer drifting on the right, and Noni, everything went down the right. Not since Eden Hazard have we had this option. And now look, it's Jadon Sancho, he's nowhere near as good as Palmer at the moment, or generally, he's not as good as Palmer. So he's never going to draw the attention of Cole Palmer. But in the game against Arsenal, in the game against Man United, where he's good opposition, and yes, Man United deserve that title just for the moment, they locked down Cole Palmer. Jadon Sancho is the kind of player, and so is Neto to a degree, but Jadon Sancho is the kind of player that he's not really fast, so you give him the ball and he does something with it. He slows the game down, he creates, and that's what opposition teams don't like. It's a little bit like Cole Palmer, although Cole Palmer's to a higher level. So when you're having two-man, friggin' man mark, you could say the same thing if we played Joao Felix in the pocket, because Maresca said before, Felix and Palmer could play in certain games. I'd love to see that against maybe Leicester or something when the Prem starts again. It could be devastating because it's pointless trying to man mark, jeopardize your own defensive system by putting two players on one guy to allow a Joao Felix to be completely free. Do you know what I mean? So Jadon Sancho is that player on the left, the left flank, chalk on his boots. That means if you're man marking a geezer over there, it causes problem and you free up the likes of Jadon Sancho. So as you can see, also a one-to-one explorer. Very, very good at assisting and passing. This is, the more you look at stuff like this, you think, yeah, we need a really clinical centre forward. Very good at dribbling, very creative, amazing passer. Yeah, really good at passing. And as you can see, a proper left winger. He likes to drift inside sometimes, which is helpful, especially if you've got a player that can drift out from central. This is pretty amazing. If you look down here, guys. So he's got 5 appearances. Yeah. I don't think he's even played 90 minutes. He's got 3 assists and 5 appearances, which is excellent. And he's won a penalty, which is like an FPL assist. But from expected assists, he's got 0.8. I think he's done good assists, but some of the finishing was amazing. And I think that one of those goals against Brighton from Palmer. But so he's benefiting from excellent finishes, but he's giving them the opportunity. Let's look at the advanced stats of Jadon Sancho. Ooh. See, they're all a bit different, aren't they? The wingers at Chelsea. Strength, dribbling, passing, probably the best passer out of all the wingers so far, which is very, very impressive. So expected assists from open play situations, very strong, but nowhere near as strong as expected threats from carries. What I mean by that, you might have Neto running in behind or a Mudryk running in behind on the left wing. Say Neto or Mudryk start. They can break the lines and run in behind. Sancho's not going to do that. But what he is going to do is slow the game down, get his head up and dribble and round people and take a man on, beat his man. And if you can do that, Maresca, that's a proper Enzo Maresca winger, as we know from being briefed in the summer. Expected goals isn't very high, but he's super creative. As you can see, he has got 92 percentile, 94 percentile in chance creation. Progression is just an absolute mad thing. His expected threat is in the top 2%, and from carries, he's in the top 2%. 1-2 closed, he's in the top 1%. Amazing ball carrier, amazing technician, amazing at combinational play in the box, like 1-2s, and really creative. He can score a goal, Jadon Sancho, so it'd be nice to see him score a couple of goals. But really, if he's helping the team, I reckon he'll win a few more penalties this season as well if he gets more game time, because he will carry the ball in the box and people won't know what to do with him. He's got such good close control. And for me, like you guys did in the voting, I would have Sancho on the left and Neto on the right. Woohoo! Long video today, guys, but I had fun. I hope you did too. So let me know if you did enjoy the content, because I'm always wanting feedback from you, man. Please do comment in the comment section below. I'll thank you for joining me. Thank you for liking and subscribing, and I hope to see you back here very, very soon. I do. All right, peace.